So I just got in for today, and I'd like to talk to y'all about something for a minute or two. But don't run off. This is only going to take about a minute. We're going to put a straight pipe on the cat excavator, and I guarantee you don't want to miss that. Got a package in the mail the other day, actually been about a week ago now, from a viewer of the channel, and he actually has his own channel himself. And he sent me a very nice letter. He sent Corn Dog and Robert a letter too, and sent me a hat. And the hat's not something I would typically wear because it has an International Harvester logo on it. That person is Nelson with IP Farms. And a lot of you that watch my channel probably already watch his channel. But if you don't, I'd like for you to check it out. He's got a pretty neat backstory. He's straightening up his granddad's old farm and doing a real good job. You never know what he's going to be doing that day. He's got a track loader that he uses to clear ground with. And if you like that red equipment, he's got I believe it's a 1066, and he does some chisel plowing with it, and he's been working on fixing up the old buildings. He's fixing them a farm office and fixing them a lean-to to store his equipment under. So it's something interesting every day. I enjoy watching it, just seeing how he's bringing his granddad's old farm back to life. His ultimate goal, I think, is to raise some crop, and I hope he gets to do that in 2022. If you would, check him out. His channel's IP Farms. And right here's the hat he sent me. Got that IH logo on it. Looks good on the display case, man. And y'all be sure to check his channel out, IP Farms. Well, good evening, friends and neighbors. Today we are working on straight piping a little 4-cylinder turbocharged Caterpillar engine. This is my old muffler. And this muffler is not that old, but it is made out of some really thin metal, and the exhaust end of it broke out of it, come plumb out the bottom. So what we are doing, we are taking the good part of the exhaust pipe, the flanged end that bolts to the turbo, took a torch, cut it out, and I'll show it to you in a minute. We got Robert working up here. He's taking off the old bracket that the muffler set down in. What we're going to do, we're going to hook onto the turbo here. We're going to come out approximately 6 inches and turn it straight up. And you see the meshed area on the hood there for the excavator. We're going to have to cut out a notch for it to slide down over the exhaust pipe. And the old hole for the exhaust, I don't know what we'll do with it. I don't know if we'll put a plate over it and patch it, or if we'll just let it be. This is what we'll be using to repair it. You see how thick of a wall this exhaust pipe is versus how thick the wall is of this that they used. That's a major difference. But the exhaust shop that I normally use, they cannot bend 3-inch pipe. But they told me to that they'd sell me the pipe to do what I needed to. So we bought 4 foot of 3-inch exhaust pipe. What about this? Is the end that fell out. I thought about using it, just cutting it off right here, but one thing we're looking about is we think we're just going to leave this end straight instead of being curved like that, and put a 3-inch rain cap on it The reason being is we normally haul this track hoe on the low boy backwards, and when you haul it backwards, this was pointing to the back, and you would be blowing air through your turbo, which we always just kind of left it running so we didn't have to deal with that issue. Or if we was going very far, we would tape over it, put a piece of tape over it or something. But we don't want to be spinning our turbo while the engine's not running and it ain't getting any lubrication. So we're going to use a rain cap, and we're going to turn it where when you're pulling it down the road, the wind will be blowing it shut, and we don't have to worry about that issue anymore. So what I've got to do right now is I've got this piece of steel here. We got this cuff here we're gonna have to get off. Alright, I've actually thought about sliding that pipe inside of this one and then welding the cuff around there and welding the cuff around there. I've had that idea. What we got to do is we got to make a 90-degree turn, and we already have a bit of an angle here, so we got to find what this angle is and find what this angle is and take 90 degrees minus that angle, and that'll give us how many degrees we need to cut this pipe. And to cut the pipe, I've used my DeWalt bandsaw. I bet y'all ain't never. Y'all didn't see that, but a hot piece of steel went toward Bob's sensitive areas.
Our biscuits are burning.
Hot steel balls. I don't like welding exhaust pipe. It's easy to burn a hole in. It's not the most professional job I've ever seen, but it'll do. This was a factory weld, and then this was the cuff for the old muffler, but we needed the extra length, so I just cut it off and then welded it to this pipe, and then I cut the angle on this pipe, and for some we butted it up flush right here, and for some reason it we had, I don't know, about that much sticking out. So I just took the torch. I had to make these slits so it'd lay down there flat. Made a slit there, a slit there, and a slit there. And then I heated this up and bent it over and then welded it to get our 90-degree angle to get it coming straight up off the turbo. And I got it marked right here. I'm gonna cut this pipe 24 inches long. It's about 20 something degrees outside. Hopefully here before long y'all get to see a cat straight pipe cold start. So we're up here in the belly of the beast. Right there's where the muffler used to sit, and we have so much more room for activities now. You see how it was blowing soot all over the engine bay? Yep, not good. This is the turbo. For those of y'all not familiar with turbos and what they do, there is a little impeller in there that the exhaust gas turns, and it turns an impeller on this side, and it pulls clean air through the air filter and blows it into the engine, forces more air into the engine, because it takes oxygen for things to burn, so it pushes more air, therefore more oxygen into the engine, and gives it more horsepower.
That is the part that went down on Griggs' loader, Matt Griggs' loader truck.
Yep. Filling of the turbo. There's no play inside the turbo. That's a good thing. You don't want play inside your turbo. No play or you will pay. You can do. I don't know how I'm going to hold all of this in place, but we're going to try. Let me see. I've only ever had to put one turbocharger on a piece of equipment, and that was the 4640 that we had the blade on. I want to barely start this nut where we got plenty of room, and then we're gonna, I think that will go much better. Slip the pipe on. Slip the clamp on. Ratcheting wrenches are one of the best inventions ever. Ranks right up there with fire and the invention of the wheel.
Talking about three things.
Hmm.
I think you're talking about three things. The invention of fire, the invention of the submarine, Flint, Michigan, Megapole.
That is a quote from the movie Semi-Pro, if you've never seen it. Greatest basketball movie ever. Who wants to hear a straight piped cat? I do. Well, we had been having a little bit of an issue with the track hoe. I hadn't said much about it. After you'd run it about an hour or so, it'd start losing power on you. And it'd fade back to nothing, and you could shut it down and, you know, walk off from it a little while, come back and run it again, and it'd run good for a little while. But this is the fuel transfer pump for it, and there's a little canister that goes down here underneath it. Let me show you it. That's where it pulls fuel from the fuel tank. But right here, as many of y'all that's been following our channel for a while and saw where we bought the track hoe, it had been sitting for several years. Right there's a little filter that was in it, rusted up a little bit, and might have to get a light so y'all can see, but some rust down there in the bottom of that filter. There, see the rust down there? I bet we get that cleaned up, put a new filter in her. Bet she'll run like a good used one. What do you want to bet? Old girl, she just needs a little TLC. But daggum, we done put like 100 hours on her, and she ain't gave a massive amount of trouble. I think we just keep showing her a little bit of love along here. She's gonna make a daggum good one, I hope. Daddy's bulk feed finally showed up. I know he'll be tickled to death to see it. He's been waiting on it about 4 or 5 days now. Our co-op's been dragging her feet about getting it delivered. He's been having to use bag feed, and it's just not near as convenient as getting feed out of that old gravity wagon. He runs through several tons of feed a week this time of year. 4230 cold start, and it is cold.
Yes, it is cold.
This was the worst cranking thing we had on the farm, and we rebuilt the injection pump, and now it's the best cranking thing we got on the farm. 20 degrees. Let's go to Napa. It's middle of the day, and I want y'all to look at this. It is so cold that my sweet tea from lunch, there was a little bit on the lid, and it is already froze. I think we've reached the high today. Well, we are back. Got this right here, canister, spring, that pushes up on that plate, and then this filter sits down on there like so, and it's filter spring loaded. Started that easy. just how it goes. Sometimes it really do be like it. Let me prime it some more. You can do it. Got a little error in the system. It don't know how to act with clean filters. Well, we think she's ready to go. We'll find out tomorrow. We're gonna pull it out there, and I guess y'all are gonna get multiple angles of this action. But we're gonna pull it out there and level the tank area where we're gonna put our tanks with it. So y'all can hear that cat straight pipe in action tomorrow.